His cat disappeared every night. What the hidden camera revealed was more shocking than he could ever imagine. Ben Harris pressed his face against the window. His black cat Salem was gone again. The third night this week. Every door was locked. Every window sealed tight. Yet somehow Salem escaped. Like a ghost slipping through solid walls. Ben's chest tightened with worry. Where did his beloved cat go? What dangers lurked in the darkness? The mystery was consuming his life. Salem had been Ben's companion for 3 years. A rescue cat with bright green eyes. Playful during the day. Affectionate and loyal. But something changed 2 months ago. Salem started vanishing at midnight. Every single night. Ben would wake up at dawn. Salem would be back. Exhausted and dirty. Sometimes with scratches on his black fur. "Where do you go, buddy?" Ben whispered. Salem would just purr. Then sleep for hours. The first week, Ben thought nothing of it. Cats wander. Cats explore. It seemed normal. But the pattern was too precise. Too mysterious. Too dangerous. Salem returned with dust between his paws. Strange smells on his coat. Sometimes even small wounds. Ben's anxiety grew stronger each night. His cat was risking his life somewhere. But where? And why? He tried blocking the cat door. Salem still vanished. He checked every window twice. All secure. The house had no secret passages. No hidden exits. No logical explanation. Yet Salem kept disappearing. Like magic. Ben's sleepless nights turned into weeks. Dark circles formed under his eyes. His work suffered. His friends worried. Just let him roam, his neighbor suggested. Cats need freedom. But this felt different. Urgent. Dangerous. Salem was hiding something. Ben could sense it. The scratches were getting worse. Salem looked more exhausted each morning. His behavior was changing. Ben decided to take action. He bought a small GPS tracker. State-of-the-art technology. Waterproof and lightweight. "This will solve everything," Ben muttered. He attached the tiny device to Salem's collar. Then waited for nightfall. At exactly midnight, Salem headed for the door. His green eyes glowed in the darkness. Ben pretended to sleep. Salem moved silently through the house. Ben held his breath. Then silence. Ben grabbed his phone. He opened the GPS app. The tracker showed Salem's location. The signal was moving. Down the street. Toward the old neighborhood. Past the elementary school. Ben followed the digital trail. His heart pounded with excitement. Finally, he would have answers. But then the unthinkable happened. The GPS signal vanished. Completely gone. "No, no, no!" Ben shouted. He drove to the last known location. An empty parking lot. No sign of Salem anywhere. The tracker had malfunctioned. Or been destroyed. Or removed. Ben felt helpless. More confused than ever. Salem returned at dawn. Without the GPS device. Ben searched his fur frantically. Nothing. "How did you lose it?" Ben demanded. Salem meowed innocently. Then curled up for his usual exhausted sleep. Ben was going insane. The mystery was eating him alive. He tried a different approach. Security cameras. Professional-grade equipment. Hidden in strategic locations. Motion sensors in every room. Infrared night vision. Digital recording. "I will catch you this time," Ben promised. That night, Ben monitored every screen. Salem moved through the house normally. Ate his dinner. Used his litter box. Then midnight arrived. Salem walked toward the front door. Ben watched intensely. Salem sat down. He stared directly at the camera. Those green eyes seemed to know everything. Then Salem did something impossible. He turned his back to all the cameras. And simply vanished. The video showed Salem sitting there. Then the next frame showed an empty room. No movement. No explanation. No logical answer. Ben replayed the footage 100 times. Salem had literally disappeared. Like he never existed. "This is impossible," Ben screamed. But the evidence was undeniable. His cat was defying physics. Ben's rational mind was crumbling. Was Salem supernatural? Was this house haunted? Was he losing his sanity? He called his sister Maria. She was a veterinarian. Logical and practical. "Cats are escape artists," Maria said calmly. "They find ways we never imagine." "But I have video proof." "Show me." Ben played the footage. Maria watched silently. Her face grew pale. "That is definitely strange," she admitted. "Strange? It is impossible." Maria studied the video again. "There has to be an explanation. Cats do not just vanish." "Then explain it." She could not. Ben was alone with his nightmare. His beloved cat was somehow supernatural. Or he was completely insane. The neighbors started talking. Mrs. Johnson whispered about ghostly cats. Mr. Peters mentioned strange energies. "Animals sense things we cannot," Mrs. Rodriguez explained. "Maybe Salemi's drawn to something beyond." Beyond what? Ben wondered. The theories made everything worse. Was Salem in danger from supernatural forces? Was he being controlled by something evil? Ben barely ate. Barely slept. The mystery consumed his entire existence. 2 weeks passed. Salem kept vanishing. Ben kept failing to solve it. Then one night, desperation drove him to madness. "I will follow you," Ben declared. "No matter what." He dressed in dark clothing. Grabbed a flashlight. Prepared for anything. At midnight, Salem headed for the door. Ben followed at a distance. Salem walked down the street. Ben crept behind parked cars. His heart hammered against his ribs. Salem turned toward the old neighborhood. The street lights were broken. Darkness swallowed everything. Ben lost sight of his cat. Panic flooded his chest. He ran forward blindly. Searching desperately. Calling Salem's name softly. Then he saw movement. A black shape slipping through shadows. Salem was heading toward a tall wooden fence. The house behind it was dark. Abandoned looking. Ben watched his cat approach the fence. Then something impossible happened again. Salem walked straight through the solid wood. Like it was made of air. Ben rubbed his eyes frantically. He was definitely hallucinating. Stress had finally broken his mind. But when he looked again, Salem was gone. The fence was solid. Real. Ben touched the wooden boards. They were completely normal. No holes. No gaps. No secret passages. Yet Salem had passed through them. Ben's hands shook uncontrollably. This defied every law of nature. Before we continue with Ben's shocking discovery, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. Ben stood frozen for 20 minutes. Too terrified to move. Too curious to leave. Finally, courage overpowered fear. He had to know the truth. Ben found a section where the fence was lower. He grabbed the top. Pulled himself up. Swung his legs over. He dropped into the backyard. His knees buckled from adrenaline. The house was dark and silent. Old Victorian architecture. Peeling paint. Overgrown garden. Ben crept toward the back door. Every step felt like walking toward his doom. Then he heard it. A soft sound. Almost like crying. His blood turned to ice. Someone was inside. Someone was hurt. Ben pressed his ear against the door. The crying was definitely human. A woman's voice. Heartbroken and alone. Was Salem in danger? Was someone holding him captive? Ben tried the door handle. It turned easily. The door opened with a slow creak. He stepped into the darkness. The crying grew louder. Coming from the living room. Ben moved silently through the house. Old floorboards groaned under his feet. Then he saw them. The most shocking sight of his entire life. Salem sat peacefully beside an elderly woman. She was crying softly. Petting his black fur. The woman looked up at Ben. Her eyes were red with tears. Her face was filled with profound sadness. "I am so sorry," she whispered. "I did not mean to steal your cat." Ben stood frozen in the doorway. His mind could not process this scene. "You are Salem's owner," the woman continued. "I have seen you searching for him." "Who are you?" Ben managed to ask. "My name is Helen Torres. I live alone here." Ben looked around the house. It was clean but empty. No family photos. No signs of other people. "How does Salem get inside?" Ben asked. Helen smiled through her tears. "The cat door in my basement. It connects to the storm drain. Salem discovered it months ago." A logical explanation. Finally. Ben felt relief flooding through him. "Why does he come here?" Ben asked gently. Helen's face crumbled with emotion. "My husband died 6 months ago. My cat Midnight died 2 weeks later. I have been completely alone since then." Ben's heart broke for this woman. She was drowning in loneliness. "Salem just appeared one night," Helen continued. "He seemed to understand my pain. He has visited every night since." Ben looked at his cat. Salem was purring softly. Providing comfort to a broken heart. "I tried to stop him from coming," Helen said. "I knew you must be worried. But I was so lonely. So desperate for companionship." Tears started flowing down Ben's cheeks. The mystery finally made sense. Salem was not escaping. He was serving. Providing love to someone who needed it desperately. "I am not angry," Ben said softly. "I am amazed." Helen looked surprised. "Really? My cat chose to help you. That makes me proud of him." Salem meowed softly. Like he understood every word. Ben sat down beside Helen. She looked embarrassed and ashamed. "I should have introduced myself," she said. "But I was afraid you would stop him from visiting." Never, Ben promised. Salem has good instincts about people. They sat in comfortable silence. Salem purred between them. Ben realized something profound. Animals understand emotional pain in ways humans cannot. Salem had sensed Helen's desperate loneliness. He chose to sacrifice his own comfort to heal her heart. "Would you like to have coffee sometime?" Ben asked Helen. "During normal hours?" Helen's face brightened for the first time. "I would love that. Salem can still visit at night. But maybe we can also be friends during the day." Helen started crying again. But these were tears of joy. "I have not had a friend in months," she admitted. Ben understood that feeling. He had been isolated too. Consumed by worry and mystery. "We can help each other," Ben suggested. Salem seemed to approve. He purred louder. Over the following weeks, Ben and Helen became close friends. He learned about her late husband. Her years of marriage. Her struggle with grief. Also, Ben found a small window behind the water heater. The latch was indeed broken. Hanging by a single screw. Salem could easily push it open. "You brilliant little escape artist," Ben laughed. The supernatural disappearance had a perfectly logical explanation. Salem was just smarter than him. 3 months later, Helen decided to adopt a kitten. A small orange tabby from the local shelter. "Luna needs a friend," Helen said, introducing her new pet. Salem and Luna became instant companions. Playing together. Sleeping together. Healing together. Ben realized that Salem's instincts had been perfect. Helen needed animal companionship. She just needed help finding it. "You are a therapy cat," Ben told Salem. "Did you know that?" Salem purred and rubbed against his legs. Sometimes the most mysterious behavior has the most beautiful explanation. Thank you for being here. Hitting like, leaving a comment, and subscribing helps me continue finding the best stories for you.